Solving triangles using trigonometry in areas of non-right triangles by Avery, Audya, and Julia. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the law of sines. And the law of sines is sine A over A equals sine B over B, which equals sine C over C. And so the sine A, sine B, sine C, those represent like the angle measures, and then the A, B, and C represent like how long one side is. So how long side A is, how long side B is, and how long side C is. So those are the different measures. So for example 1, you're given two angles on one side, and this is known as the angle-angle side problem. And for this problem, we know that the measure of angle A is 98 degrees, and then we know the measure of angle B is 61 degrees, and we know that side C is equal to 37 centimeters. So what we want to do is first we want to find the measure of angle C. So we do that by subtracting 61 and 98 from 180, and we get the angle measure of C is 21 degrees. Next, using that information, we want to plug it into the equation. So basically we do sine 98 over 37 is equal to sine 61 over B, and then you're going to cross multiply those, and you're just going to solve for B, and then you get that B is equal to 32.68 centimeters. And you're going to do the same thing to find the other side length. And so you're going to sine 98 over 37 equals sine 21 over C. And so you're going to cross multiply that, and then you're going to get that that side is equal to 13.39 centimeters. So it's pretty simple. For the next example, you're also given two angles on one side, so ASA. And for this example, we know that the measure of angle A is 37 degrees, the measure of angle B is 104 degrees, and we know that side C is 17 centimeters long. So the first thing we're going to do, just like the last problem, is figure out the measure of angle C. And so we're just going to subtract 104 and 37 from 180 degrees, and so from that we can figure out that the measure of angle C is 39 degrees. And so then using that information, we can plug it into the equation, into the formula, the law of sines. And so we get sine 39 over 17 equals sine 104 over B. And then we're just going to cross multiply, and you're going to solve for B. And so we get B is equal to 26.21 centimeters. And then we're going to do the same thing to find side A. So we're just going to cross multiply, and we find that A is equal to 16.26 centimeters. And this is pretty easy. We can just figure out like all the angle measures and then all of the how long each side is. So it's pretty simple. The next thing we're going to talk about is the law of cosines. And so the law of cosines are kind of two parts. There's like the standard form and the alternative form, and you can use either form just depending on what information you're given in the problem or how you like want to solve the problem, just kind of depending on which one you're comfortable with. So you can use the standard form or the alternative form. Either one, it doesn't really matter. So those are all very useful formulas to use. And then for the next example, we have an SSS example. So that means that you're given the measurements of three sides of the triangle, and you're trying to figure out what angle X is equal to. So for this, you're just going to plug in the values that you get into the law of cosines. So you're going to get, so basically you're going to use the ones like cosine of C is equal to A squared plus B squared minus C squared over 2AB. And you're going to plug in the values. So you're going to do cosine of X is equal to 14 squared plus 11 squared minus 21 squared over 2 times 14 times 11. And then from that you can just solve. So you get the cosine of X is negative 0.40597, and you're going to plug that in for X, and so you're going to do the inverse, so cosine to the -1 equals X, and then from that you're able to figure out that X is equal to 113.741 degrees, and so you can figure out the angle measurement of that. So pretty straightforward and simple. Most of these are just plugging in the information you're given into the equation. So just really having a good understanding of knowing the equations and understanding like how to use them will help you a lot. For the second example, we are given two sides and an included angle, and so that's the SAS example. And so for this, one side is 10 centimeters long, one side is 9 centimeters long, and one angle is 47 degrees. And so what you're trying to do is you're trying to figure out how long side X is. And so for this, we decided to use the equation c squared equals b squared plus a squared minus 2ab cosine c. And just like the previous ones, you're just going to plug in the information. So side A is 10 centimeters long, side B is 9 centimeters long, and then the angle is 47 degrees. So you're just going to plug that all in, and then you figure out that 181 minus 180 times 0.6819, and then you get 58.2403 equals x squared. So you're going to take the square root of both sides, and you're going to get that x is approximately equal to 7.632, and so that would basically be how long side x is. So again, like the other ones, it's pretty straightforward, pretty simple. Just plug in the information into the equation and into the formula and solve. So the next thing we're going to talk about is Heron's area formula. And so this is just an equation we use when we have different measurements to help find the area of a triangle. So there are two main parts of the equation almost. So the main equation is the A equals square root of s times s minus a times s minus b times s minus c. But a lot of times in order to get what s equals, you're going to have to do a plus b plus c divided by 2. So it's really important to have a good understanding of both the equations and know what each thing stands for in order to solve it, because they're both pretty simple. You just need to know how to use each equation. So for our example, it's pretty easy. Basically, A is equal to 8, B is equal to 12, and C is equal to 17. So the first thing you're going to do is solve for S. So you're just going to plug in A, B, and C and then divide that by 2. So S is equal to 8 plus 21 plus 17, and then you're going to divide the whole thing by 2, and so that gives you that makes S 18.5, and then now that you know S, you can plug it into the big area formula, and so you're going to get area is equal to the square root of 18.5 times 18.5 minus 8 times 18.5 minus 12 times 18.5 minus 17, and then that simplifies to the square root of 1,893.9375, and so from there you get that the area is 43.52. So yeah, that's pretty much the end of the video. I hope this was really helpful and everyone understood it.